So one issue tends to be pretty common around playoff time in the NBA: injury bug. And it frustrates the heck out of me. I think it frustrates the heck out of media fans everywhere.
We don't get to see the superstars you want to see.
And it seems to be like the superstars are all going down. I'll start at the top. John Wall now has 5 ligament issues in his hand, fractures in his hand.
He's not playing these playoffs. No, he's done. But they won without him, Raymond Sessions. But yeah, I don't think it's sustainable. But yeah, all these big guys going out. It's tough to watch as a fan.
Let's just go around the horn of the teams left.
Mm-hmm.
One that doesn't get spoken about enough is Patrick Bevereley.
Absolutely.
Houston.
Absolutely.
They lost their point guard.
Well, he won the skills competition in the All-Star.
He kind of cheated there.
No, for sure. But like he's not the worst point guard, and he can lock down.
Pesky defense.
Like imagine him on Steph Curry right now.
He's already having problems, but yeah. Houston losing their point guard, going back over to the Clippers who they're facing. CP3's playing on one leg.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of shocked they won a couple games without him with that hamstring injury.
Well, I think that's the only reason this series is close, to be honest. But.
Yeah. So both those guys. Going back over to the East. Cleveland, we talked about Kevin Love a lot last week and how much he's being missed there, but now Kyrie Irving.
With his foot injury.
He's not himself, and I wanted to bring this up. Did you see the post-game conference where they had LeBron, Kyrie sitting next to each other, and one of the journalists asked, because Kyrie had 0 assists in that game as a point guard, as a facilitator, and the reporter basically brought up that there was a game earlier this season where LeBron called out Kyrie for not having any assists, kind of a similar situation, and Kyrie did not react well to it. I can tell he's frustrated that he's not himself, but it seems like LeBron really handled it. He's dealt with these adversities.
Well, I think it's also changed, right? At the start of the season, I think they were trying to play Kyrie as a pure point guard, or closer to, and I think where they've garnered a lot of their success is having LeBron James ball handle and having Kyrie play a lot of off ball. He can still handle with the best of them, but it's obviously not his strength. He's able to, but it's, everyone criticized LeBron for not taking the last shot, but he's one of the best passers in the game, so why would you not utilize a team with their strengths?
Yeah. And, then looking at Chicago, now Pau Gasol is looking like he's going to be out for Game 4, maybe longer.
And everyone's crossing their fingers for Derrick Rose.
Well, that's every game, yeah, exactly. And so, that franchise has always been, in a way, had an identity issue all season long because they have not been entirely healthy, kind of until right now. And then the flip side of the coin is a team like Memphis that was healthy for huge stretches. We'll get to them in the next segment. And then to lose Mike Conley, then seeing him come back now, it just goes to show that you're always going to have chemistry issues when you have guys out.
Well, especially at key positions. And all these guys we've just mentioned are, if not all-stars, close to, right? What do you think is a contributing factor? Are they playing too many games? Is it just that guys are just that big and athletic? Are they too strong for their own frames? I've heard so many arguments saying that people, these players are so strong now, their ligaments and joints can't handle. You can say this about a lot of sports, I guess.
We discussed this before. Adam Silver is looking at the issue of all these back-to-back and four games and 5-night issues, looking to expand. What they may do next year is eliminate a big chunk of the preseason, get rid of preseason games, and basically make the season a bit longer so they don't have those 4 games and 5 nights. And then there's the ongoing issue with these guys in the culture of the NBA now and in college hoops. Guys play all summer long. One point we bring up is kind of the Tim Duncan mold, the mindset of, cross-training with other sports. Tim Duncan swims, he does Thai boxing, things like that.
Well, let's not forget he plays 29, 30 minutes a game, which is a big difference on top of that,
It's true, but there's a lot of guys like Steve Nash who stopped playing summer ball several years ago. So to extend your career, it seems like that's kind of a trick formula for longevity. But yeah, everybody this time of year seems to be really banged up. One team that's not banged up, going back to the element of luck, because it tends to be that one of the elements of just, hey, we're healthy. Golden State, Mo Spates injured his calf muscle.
But they're still so deep. David Lee, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston.
So I think that's kind of let's just say key ingredients. Having a team that has a lot of depth, say Chicago, Golden State, and just guys luckily not being out this time of year. We may see those two teams in the finals.
We may. I still have a little. I'm still on my Memphis bandwagon, but we'll see about that. But no, absolutely. And injuries are part of every game, and we know this. But I don't know. I just feel like you hear about this more than you did 10 years ago. Maybe there's just better media coverage, and we're aware of more minor injuries where we wouldn't have been aware before. But do you think there's actually an increase, or do you think this is just
I think
people are more aware?
I think it's a bit of both. Obviously, the media focuses on these things. I remember the last 2-3 years there have been a lot of, and one of the issues has been it's been stars who've been injured, so that gets the immediate attention. Guys like Russell Westbrook out, things like that. I mean, when it's a star-driven league where it's a big part of the marketing spin, when these guys are out, you can't really put them on posters, you can't really put them on YouTube. So, I mean, it's an issue that the league's going to, and the fact that Adam Silver really is addressing this and addressing it publicly now speaks to how much he knows this is an issue.
It's such a physical game, and all these incredible
Playoff
athletes,
game,
right? And one guy's not on that list, but when you watch him play, you're kind of knocking on wood that he doesn't end up. Blake Griffin, like half his little tip dunks or his misses, like he's landed on his back after hanging on the rim quite a few times.
And he did miss a big chunk of the season.
Absolutely.
Do remember that. I mean, to be honest, to bring you back to the element of luck, I don't know how John Stockton, as a little guard, played almost 20 seasons in the NBA and barely had any injuries at all.
Well, I was about to say the kind of Tim Duncan effect of guys who play below the rim. When you're not spending your days with your head, in the clouds, there's less chance of landing. But, for every example like that, then you have your Kyrie Irving, who's not exactly known for his athleticism, and he can get hurt. But I think there is that emphasis on being hyper athletic, right? Guys are getting taller, longer, and so as a shot blocker, to get over the trees in the middle, and guys like Russell Westbrook do have to sky. So it's funny how their own athleticism and skill that's being pushed in the league is almost the ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know myself in my years of playing, most of my injuries came from rebounding and landing on people's feet in the key. So I was off my feet on landing.
Yeah, I mean, I've got scars from diving for balls. I mean, typical example, Amir Johnson's 28 years old? He plays like he's in his mid-30s now.
Although he did start young. He was one of those 17-year-olds.
Yeah, but this style of play and just being kind of, like you said, makes him more prone to injuries. It just seems like it's taking a real toll on his body, and it's taking a toll on a lot of guys in this league.
Yeah, no, it's nothing you want to see as an NBA fan, because we want to see the stars play. And it's not fun to see, a team or a matchup that should have been very tightly contested be kind of a wash because the player differential is not there.
Well, that's injuries. That's the game of basketball.